Well, hello folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up that screen. AITX, A to the I to the T to the X. Let's see here. We've got ourselves another nice order that just came in for artificial intelligence. And also, I do have some proof. I can show you where AITX is being manipulated. It's pretty clear. And doesn't shock me. This is a company that happens quite a bit, but we'll look at that as well. But first, let's talk about the market for a minute. As you know, the previous 3 days, the Dow Jones was down 800, 600, and then 800 again, and that's brutal. The reality is this is an off-risk in market, no question, and penny stocks are as risky as it gets. So this is really tough on penny. It's tough on everything. Look, the FANG stocks are getting killed. Facebook is sitting at a 12 PE. You give me a break. And Netflix has been killed, and now they kind of deserve it. But there's Walmart's down. Freaking Walmart. That's like having a savings account. The big issue is wholesale prices are up 10% today, actually 10.8 for May, which is just shockingly high. And doesn't shock, well, actually I say it's shocking, it's not really shocking. Look, inflation's at 12 to 15%. You folks have been at the grocery store and you've bought gas, you've done all kinds of things, and you know it's ridiculous. Rent is the highest it's ever been. Over $2,000 a month is the average rent now. People can't afford this crap. And I have no, and I don't have any faith in our leadership right now. I'm really disappointed they're not doing anything about it. And, you know, they say they are, but hey, proof's in the pudding, and I'm not seeing it here, Lloyd.
I'm not seeing it here, Lloyd.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it here. So anyway, this is really a problem. And realize all those prices, increase in cost of goods sold has to be passed on, plus a little bit of profit. So it's not a good situation.
I think I just figured something out, Beavis.
What?
This sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely does suck. And here's your Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index, which is a very important chart. It's the lowest it's ever been in history, over 50 years. And like I say, investors and big dogs on Wall Street really like to look at this to kind of get a gauge of the future. And right now we're on rock bottom. And here's some good news. AITX, like I say, received some nice orders, multiple AVA orders, and a TOM order. And I looked at AITX's website, didn't show a TOM. I don't know what a TOM is. It says today announced its RAD had received an order for 5 security robots from a top-ranked global logistics company. The deal's valued at the low 6 figures plus monthly costs because their subscription as a service is a big part of their business. It says not named due to NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. The company indicated the end user and existing client is global leader. The company confirmed it's 4 AVAs. I know what that is, but a one TOM, it's a visitor management device. And I know what a Scott is. I know what an AVA is. I know what a Romeo is. I know what a Rosa is. But what the heck's a TOM? Anyway, I'll just keep looking. If you know what that is, comment to me. And here they say, we appreciate every client, but this one client means so much to us, said Steve Reinhardt. They're a Fortune 500 company, so they're freaking huge, and continually overhauling how they handle their access control and property security, and it'll save them a crap load of money. As you know, when you go to these robots, it saves you a ton of money in payroll, upwards of 90%. Says, supporting this great client as they roll RAD solutions out to more and more of their 200 facilities, so I would expect a lot more orders from them if this works out. It says, I think we'll hit 50 deployed units with them soon, and hopefully 100, so that's just great news. And AITX, as you can see here, it's getting hit. It's down about 3% today. It bounced all the way up to 0.016 when they got that announcement. They were expecting 37 units to be ordered very soon from a dealer, so that had bumped them up from 1.4 cent up to 1.6. Now they're down to 1.39. And it's just kind of it's been hovering around this for a while, right in the penny and a half area. And I'm going to show you why it bumps up and down all the time. This is a stock that gets heavily manipulated. A lot of day traders like to mess with it because it does bounce up and down. It's perfect for a day trader. And as you can see, it went from 43% short volume down to 16 is where it's sitting right now because the stock price went down. So they're manipulating the crap out of this thing. I don't think there's any question. And if you've heard about shorting a stock, but you don't know exactly what it is, it's real simple. It's manipulation, and this is how they do it. They pay a small amount of money to someone that's got the stock long term, and they borrow that stock. And like I say, they give them a little percentage of it. And they immediately run off and sell it, which puts downward pressure on the stock. And they get that money, okay? What they have to do, that stock's got to go down or they lose money. It's just that simple. If it goes up, they have to buy it back at a higher price, and they lose even that plus the percentage. If it drops way down, they buy it back and they keep the difference. So they're actually participating in the manipulation of the stock price going down by putting pressure on it. And if you've ever seen the sell and the ask, realize if you put a big chunk of shares up there, selling it's going to put pressure to sell. So that's the whole point of it. I don't know, it's legal, you know, I'm not a big fan of how that's handled. It's one thing if you just bet, hey, you know, you put up some money and said, hey, I think this is going to go down. But when you participate in the manipulation of it going down, and it is what it is. Now, one other thing that's going on is has to do with movie and TV. Steve Reinhardt's been in Atlanta. I saw him the other day on his update, and it says AITX Movies and TV need to make sure everyone knows what's happening because it's awesome. And when these get released, it'll get us awesome exposure. And supposedly, some of these products are going to be in a movie with a major star. So that's pretty exciting. There is one issue though. With Steve being around all those Hollywood types, you know, they've taken kind of a shine to him. So, you know, he's been offered some roles in some of these big movies. And one that he got offered, you know, the whole Johnny Depp situation, you know, he said he wouldn't go back to being Jack Sparrow unless they gave him $300 million and 1,000 alpacas. So they've been looking for a replacement. And you know, Steve would kind of be a perfect choice. And so he did try out.
The pirate is in your blood, boy, so you'll have to square with that someday. Now, me, for example, I can let you drown. But I can't bring this ship into Tortuga all by me once, savvy?
All right, you got to admit that was pretty good. So hopefully we don't lose him to Hollywood. But, you know, hey, look, you know, he could be the next Jack Sparrow, so just be aware of that. All right, now that we got the jocularity out of the way, let's take a look here. We're still sitting at 4.89 outstanding shares. And like I said, they're going to have to do something, either bump this up or take a loan or something along those lines because they need more money on their balance sheet. I told you this last time. I think they had about $4 million on their balance sheet. Now, it may have changed quite a bit since then because they have sold some shares between now and then. But they're going to burn through some cash for a while. And I showed you that in the last quarterly report. And if you want to see that, I'll attach the last AITX video, and I went through all that. There's no point in me doing it again at this point. But anyway, that's my big issue. I want to buy this stock, but I can't because they don't have enough money on their balance sheet yet. But I think they'll solve it at some point, and I'm just waiting for that. All right, folks, and that's AITX today. Just wanted to cover that new order that they got, which is great. And it's definitely being manipulated. I don't think there's any question about that. If you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover AITX. And like I say, don't be surprised if you see Steve on the big screens here one day. Looks like he's got this acting thing down. That acting bug will get a hold of you, and next thing you know, you're in a giant movie. Anyway, I hope you did like the content, and we'll see you next time on Mr. Frugal Investor.